Today I'm going to be talking about the Idaho 4 case. It involves 4 college students, Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, and Ethan. Xana and Ethan were dating. And there was 2 survivors from the night that this case takes place. And it's just heartbreaking to hear what they've gone through. And it's heartbreaking to hear what the victim's family has gone through. And coming from, before I was born, I have a family member who killed somebody. And it's for the killer's family. They oftentimes don't know that their family member is basically doing the things that they're doing. So when the family gets blamed just by being associated, it's not always that simple. Sometimes the family has no clue that someone that's that close to them has these dark urges. And like I said, this happened before I was born, so I only know the things I was told. But I know that I do feel bad too when people look down on the killer's family and not really knowing, like, did they know? But also, it's obviously more tragic for the victim's family. And like Maddie's dad in his statement, it was just really heartbreaking because that was his only kid. And Kaylee, her siblings and her family, their statements were powerful. And Xana's family. But when all this happened, before everything went down, a month before, Kaylee had a dog. And they said that Kaylee's dog was not acting right the month before. And Kaylee would say when she would walk her dog that she would see a man watching her, but we don't really know what he looked like, but she would just say a man was watching her. And then her dog at times would go missing for a couple of hours. And Kaylee and Maddie, because like I said, they were best friends, they sometimes would sleep in the same bed because they were like sisters. So on this night, Xana was actually up watching TikToks. They figured that out because of her phone. She had been watching TikToks. And Maddie and Kaylee had been calling people up until like around 4 that morning. And Kaylee had even paged somebody, and they said that normally when Kaylee would page somebody is when she was kind of spooked. So now they're wondering, well, did they have a bad feeling that night? But a man broke in to the home, and he went in to Maddie's room and unalived them first. And then he went to Xana's room. And Dylan, one of the surviving roommates, said that she heard crying, and she heard a man say, "It's okay, I'll help you." And she had been spooked out. She had went to her friend's room, and her friend thought that it was just Dylan's imagination, that she was just scared, because they were known as the two more scared ones out of the bunch. So they were a little freaked out, but probably thinking it's overactive imagination. But the 4 would end up being unalived. And police, trying to, find any suspicious cars or whatever, noticed that there was a white car that would go by the house a lot because of surveillance cameras. So they found out that it was Brian Koberger's car. And the police found actually DNA from a male on a knife sheet that was left. And that's how they come up with a thing where they can go through your family line to basically try to find who the killer is. But because it is like a family tree they go through, it is hard for them to pinpoint the right ones. So, and Brian at this time is going home to be with his family because it's close to the holidays. And so the police want to know if there's anything suspicious in his trash. So they go through his trash, and he ended up moving his trash away from his parents. He put it in another bin. So the police went through it, and they haven't ever been able to find the knife. So when they arrested Brian, he asked them if they had arrested anybody else. And the police were probably thinking, well, is there somebody else? But I wonder if that's not mind games too. He's not trying to play mind games with the police. So at first, he doesn't confess. And the trial has been going on. It happened in 2022. And just recently, he took a plea deal. So he doesn't have to speak on what happened. He doesn't have to give the family closure, which is sad. He never basically has to say anything because he took a plea deal. He got life in prison for each one. And the only reason he confessed was because he knew that there was enough evidence for him to be arrested. So, at the fact, his car, his cell phone was pinned really close to the house when it happened, and when it was happening, his phone was turned off. But when it come back on, it was pinned close to the house again. So, will eventually he speak? I don't think he'll ever tell the whole story. I think there's some things he decided to keep for himself. I think he likes that he's the only one that knows what actually happened. And he's never going to tell 100% the truth. It's just, that is what it is. He's never going to give the family the closure that they need. But that is today's video. Thank you guys for watching.